How is the self, or rather the lack thereof, conceptualized in Buddhism? Does my identity truly exist? Stay tuned if you want to find out. Hello everyone, I'm Angela and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll tackle the concept of no self in Buddhism. Anattā in Pali, or Anātman in Sanskrit, literally means no Atman. Atman in Sanskrit can mean three main things: the universal self, which coincides with the Brahman, the individual self, the individual soul, and it can be used as a reflective pronoun. So in Buddhism, Atman is seen as the true self, the one which lies beyond all the conditioned states that are present in our existence. Hence the question, is there really a self? Is there I beyond all the outside elements which shape its boundaries? Let's see. When I get asked, who am I? What do I reply? I may think of my name, which is something I was given, and not really essential to my perception of being me. Is it my age then? My height, my physical appearance, my thoughts, my emotions? Are these the things which determine my perception of being myself and not something or someone else? None of them, a Buddhist would say. If you cut your hair or your nails, would your sense of identity be diminished? You can surely go through changes and metamorphoses over the ages. But does your perception of being you fades at any of those stages? No, it doesn't. You may interact with the world and other people in a different fashion, but that underlying, persistent perception, feeling of being you, and not something or someone else, still persists. Your emotions change, your physical sensations too. Your thoughts will evolve continuously, and yet a change of heart or a change of mind will not affect your inner awareness of being you, despite the fact that anywhere you try to catch where your identity really lies, you can never find its core nor its residency. On this matter, Hume says something similar to what we find in Buddhism when it comes to the self. In A Treatise of Human Nature, Hume writes, "When I enter most intimately into what I call myself, I always stumble on some particular perception or other of heat or cold, light or shade, love or hatred, pain or pleasure. I never can catch myself at any time without a perception, and never can observe anything but the perception. When my perceptions are removed for any time, as by sound sleep, so long am I insensible of myself, and may truly be said not to exist. And were all my perceptions removed by death, and could I neither think, nor feel, nor see, nor love, nor hate, after the dissolution of my body, I should be entirely annihilated, nor do I conceive what is further requisite to make me a perfect non-entity. I may venture to affirm of the rest of mankind that they are nothing but a bundle or collection of different perceptions, which succeed each other with an inconceivable rapidity, and are in a perpetual flux and movement. Is our identity an illusion then? It's more complex than that. It's not a true or false kind of answer. In fact, when they say in Buddhism that there is no self, they are not saying that there is nothing, but rather that no one core of your identity can be found. Because the self, the I, is not solid, single, separate, and permanent. For Buddhists, nothing can exist independently from everything else. And all things can only exist in a state of interconnectedness with each other. As a consequence, separation is an experience we have on this plane of reality, but not what truly exists. To explain this, in Buddhism, they often use the example of language. Our discursive understanding of reality works through the rules of language, which necessitate to distinguish between the actor, the action, and the acted, or the object of the action. So we say the sun is shining, hence creating, through our language, the subject, the entity sun. But is there really a difference between the sun and its shining? Are they not all aspects of the same phenomenon? As Lichtenberg writes, we only know the existence of our sensations, ideas, and thoughts alone. It would be better to say it thinks, just as one says it's storming. To say cogito is already too much, as soon as it is translated in I think. To assume the I, to postulate it, is a practical necessity. So, basically, since our minds work through the rules of language, because we can only understand and articulate what we see and what we perceive in a linguistic fashion, we tend to use the rules of language, of course, in our discourses, in the discourses which construct the reality we experience. But these rules belong to language and not necessarily not to reality, a Buddhist would say. It is just our way, our only way to receive reality through certain filters, which in this case would be the filters and rules provided by our language. Using a different comparison from the Buddhist tradition, we find one in the Milindapañha, where the chariot is used as an example of how the chariot per se, as a separate identity, does not exist. Chariot is just a word to refer to a set of elements, which are not the chariot in and of themselves, nor is the chariot any of them individually. Is it the axle that is the chariot? Certainly not. Is it the wheels, or the framework, or the ropes, or the yoke, or the spokes of the wheel, or the goad that are the chariot? And to all these he still answered no. Then is it all these parts of it that are the chariot? No, sir. But is there anything outside them that is the chariot? And still he answered no. Then thus, ask as I may, I can discover no chariot. Chariot is a mere empty sound. It is therefore only in an interconnected state that separation may arise, as a fleeting phenomenon, always subject to change and decay. Since many have interpreted this core concept in Buddhism in a nihilistic fashion, concluding that nothing really exists in Buddhism and everything is just an illusion, I find it essential to highlight that this is not the case at all. The absence of an inherent existence does not mean non-existence. If I say that there is no elephant in the room, I'm not saying that there is nothing in the room. Emptiness does not equal nothingness. If they say that there is no separate and permanent self, it doesn't mean that there's nothing, but just that nowhere the identity, in a self-contained and unconditioned state, can be found. What is there is a flux of thoughts, emotions and sensations in a continuous change, which emerge as yourself in an interrelated fashion, giving the illusory perception of a consistent unity, due to what they call in Buddhism as the 5 skandhas, the 5 aggregates. These 5 aggregates are those who give us the illusion that we are a single consistent entity, whereas we are in fact part of an interconnected network of entity which co-arise all together. So this illusion of separation is given to us by rupa, which is body and matter, the 5 senses and their objects, the 4 elements, vedana, the sensations, pleasant and unpleasant, which are produced by the contact between the senses and their objects. Sanya, which is the labeling faculty that allows us to perceive the entirety of things. So, for example, it's the faculty that allows us to put the label spoon on a single object. Then we have Sankhara, which are the volitions and intentions, and Vijnana or Vijnana, which is consciousness, awareness. So, to sum it up, in Buddhism, there is no self, which is separate, single, solid, and permanent. What is there is a flux of thoughts, emotions, and sensations, which are in a continuous change. And since they are in a continuous change and can only exist in a connected state with everything else, they are conditioned, and therefore they do not exist on their own. Thus, your identity arises as one element in this network and can only exist in this network, in this interconnected state, not in a separate self-contained state. So this is it for today's video. Hope you liked it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below and whether everything was clear. If you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell so that you won't miss anything out, and most of all, stay tuned for all the academic fun. Bye for now.